Today, the scenic grounds of NIROX Sculpture Park will once again come alive with art, reflection and dialogues. This as the BMW Art Generation Volume 3 makes its anticipated return. So curated with a bold eye that's towards cultural engagement, this edition invites audiences to immerse themselves in a compelling exploration. It's a topology between image and imagination and presented by FNB Art Joburg. This event promises an artistic expression and intellectual discourse where attendees will engage with a curated talks program featuring artists like Zanele Muholi, Nicholas Hlobo as well. And so for more on this, we are joined by FNB Art Joburg Managing Director Mandla Sibeko, who is joining us virtually. Mandla, good morning. Welcome. Thanks for your time.
Good morning. Thank you so much. Sorry I couldn't be there. We are in the thick of things here.
I can imagine, and probably signal's not that great. So let's get straight into it. The intellectual conversation that needs to be had, but also, the art that's going to be experienced and felt. Talk to us about the meaning of topology between image and imagination, navigating that concept, how it's translated into language, into words, into visuals as well for this year's festival.
Absolutely. So this year's theme is really centering around image and imagination, and I think it's the right theme at this moment in South Africa, given complex nature of so many things that I play. And I think this is an artist take on a moment where we could give ourselves a chance to imagine ourselves, and also just to celebrate the talent that come out of South Africa and the African continent when it comes to how we are being portrayed to ourselves and to the world. So if you look at the lineup of the conversations that have been set up, you will see that you have artists like Zanele Muholi, who has really flown the South African flag or the African flag, being represented perhaps across the continents is unheard of an artist. So her work is striking, makes us think, but it's relevant to all walks of society. And then, of course, there's music, which is really looking at what role have musicians played in sort of this intergenerational discourse. So the idea behind why we do what we do with the BMW Art Generation is really to bring the discourse back to South Africa and back to Africa. So many of these conversations are taking place around the world with African, but very little is taking place on African.
No, absolutely, and well said. And thank you for speaking to that, because it's about identity, agency, culture, heritage as well. And, I wonder from your vantage point, what significant role artists at this juncture play in navigating the complexities of our history, but even just future possibilities within this theme. We're looking at the state of the world and really what is needed, Mandla.
Absolutely. Artists play such a critical role. I always say that artists always speak mind. The question is society listening. So there are so many different ways in which I engage. When you sit down with their work, as we through activities today, is that there's an underlying message that take us back the history, or they helping us to reimagine ourselves and to reimagine what do, but also really remember the basic as such. I think the center of this program really pause for a moment to celebrate ourselves, reimagine the people.
Yes, and I even want to get into that a little bit further, because when we're looking at collaborations with FNB Art Joburg, with BMW Art Generation, or Group South Africa, with in supporting artists, in having these much needed conversations and sparking, these timely pieces. Talk to us about that growth, that evolution, and how, exciting it is as well for what's to come.
Sure. The FNB Art Joburg what's amazing about it is that it was actually the first kind of contemporary art fair coming out of Africa. It came out of Johannesburg. And it has really helped to kind of create a local art ecosystem where, a marketplace where artists could meet with collectors. But at the same time, the work that we've been doing has really been to grow the next generation of art patrons or actors, which is where the association and the partnership with BMW comes in. So the BMW Art Generation is kind of like a combination of a year-long engagement with the under 40s and the 40 plus who have joined our program to basically learn and engage deeply in terms of art and patronage. So more than anything, I think the fair really brings quite a big collection of African contemporary art, but also it's a place where people can learn quite a lot about artists and culture.
Mandla, what about the use of new technology and AI and imaging and new media as well? I mean, what's coming through on that front? What's exciting you on that front?
Well, it's coming to play. There are artists who are your art quite hot now that before, which is really, and I see it being such a big feature across major codes, major museums, not here in South Africa, but also But also, South African artists are using technology. Edward, who is maybe 5 generations in this business, is using performance, is using technology to convey his message. But also, artists have started to use these platforms, So there's a big question around how AI will go. But I think live shows are important. Coming to a fair really does. I think we shouldn't lose the essence of that because that's physicality. That's one thing that we realized during COVID was that we lost that sense of physicality, and it's still very important.
So is that an invitation and a call to action for what's happening today? Mandla, I'm going to leave the conversation there. Thank you so much for your time. My curator, managing director of F&B Art, Joburg, Mandla Sibeko, they're chatting to us about the BMW Art Generation. As you heard, it's happening. It's happening at the NIROX Sculpture Park, and all of that is happening today. Live action performances is what's going to be taking center stage.